All right, what's up? What's up? Happy Friday, everybody. How's everybody's week going? All right, you guys know the routine. Kind of a little early here. We had this thing started off early this morning, and that is a bit of all right. So if you get this, you see this, you jump on, whether you're on the live stream or if you are watching this at a later time, please let me know. Jump on, say hello. Let me know you're out there in the old interweb lands. And let's have fun this morning. I'm just sharing this, getting this out there. How's everybody doing? David, good morning, sir. How are you? Appreciate you jumping on. Always good to see you. What's happening in your neck of the woods? You guys noticed I'm dressed a little bit differently today, and so we'll just address the elephant in the room. Reason being is say goodbye to warm weather. The air conditioner is off and the heat is on. The heat is on. Woke up this morning, go to the gym, 4:30 this morning. It was 26 degrees outside. Yep. Hello, winter. We kind of got a glimpse of fall and it just right into winter. Fall came and gone. I think we got fall for about a week or two. What's the temperature like in your neck of the woods? You guys jump on. David, what's it like over there? Where you're at? Yeah, I could not believe just how cold it got very quickly. I love Fat Boy. I'm down 25 pounds, 20. I'm down between 20 and 25 pounds, and it is I'm kind of missing that extra layer that I've lost. Not really, because I'm feeling pretty good, but it's funny, you know. Ken, good morning, brother. How are you? I got your order. I'm gonna shoot you a text later today. Is it 22 degrees in Prescott? Wow. JD, look at JD had to ruin it for everybody. JD comes in, oh, it's 80 here. In the Valley of the Sun. This is where the whole typical snowbird comes in for people like JD that comes in and it's where everybody else is freezing and JD's in shorts and a tank top still. It's disgusting. JD, thanks for jumping on, brother. Appreciate it. What else do we have here? David, high 50s today. 38 degrees right now. Yeah. It's so the weather's cooling off. We kind of, I was I left early and I left early yesterday. I drove up to see my buddy Gabe. I was on set filming yesterday for a documentary that might be getting picked up next year, hopefully by Netflix. I can't say what the project was per se right now, but it was a good time. And the drive up there was cold, but it was absolutely beautiful. I love being out in nature and the changing of the leaves and whatnot. It's beautiful. It reminds me a lot of like Flagstaff, Arizona, Prescott Valley area. There, and then of course, I'm from Wisconsin, so I love the fall time because of the changing of the leaves and then winter hits and everybody's like, oh, it's kind of a depressing time. I look at it as the end of a chapter, getting ready to start a new chapter. I think that's the kind of the approach that I'm wanting to take with that, and I've been starting to think more and more about from that perspective. What do you guys think? So, yeah, cold weather for most of us is upon us right now, and that's why I got the liner uh, shirt jacket on right now because it's a little chilly this morning. How was everybody's Halloween? How many of you, and be honest, how many of you sons of guns out there, how many of you actually handed out that candy corn crap? Be honest. Be honest. I need to update our Christmas list. And if you're passing out that crap, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to not send you a Christmas card this year. So there's that. No, but in all seriousness, how was everybody's Halloween? David, I love the changing of the season means a fresh start. Absolutely. 100% agree. 100% agree. I ate more candy before Halloween than I think I gave. JD, that's a problem, and we should probably have a conversation about that. I don't know what Lady M is doing down there. She's got to take that candy away. Lady M, if you watch this, take the candy away from JD. JD, no means no. No means no. Uh, Dum Dum Suckers and Tootsie Rolls. Yeah, those are always Tootsie Rolls. The little small Tootsie Rolls are always classics. You know, it's a friend of mine said go to the rich houses because those are the people that are going to pass out the giant candy bars and stuff. And I'm not gonna mention who, but I know a few of you out here that watch that or that watch the show. You do it because you sent me text messages. You know who you are. Uh, Good on you. I'm sure the kids love you. Uh, so yeah, the Halloween thing. What's this new thing? I didn't get this chance to sit out. I had a good friend of mine in town, came into town, and I went to go see him. That was priority. An old friend of mine from my corporate days in Phoenix was up, and we went out for dinner and a few drinks. Had a great time. It was great seeing him. And by the time I got home, nobody was trick or treating anymore. And but what was this thing? I was walking around and I saw just bowls sitting out. Like, is this a new thing where people just take the bowls? Ken, I like the Well, then, Ken, I know exactly where the candy corn is gonna go. So those of you that are watching that have leftover candy corn, send it to HMG. We'll go through it, make sure it's safe, and then Ken, early Christmas gift for you, my friend. uh, JD, we still have a tub of candy left, and I don't like wasting money, so it must be eaten. Yeah. And be honest, how many of you go out there and you buy a ton of candy to pass out, but you don't put a lot of that candy in the bowl for the kids to grab? So I'm curious to see what do we have here, David. We have too many parents taking kids walking neighborhood. I'm seeing a lot of that. I heard I was in a meeting last night. Um, with our HOA board, and a lot of the people there were saying that the traffic in our neighborhood, it's a small neighborhood. There's probably maybe only 130, 170 units in our area. And a lot of traffic going in and out was horrible because people weren't getting out of their vehicles. They were blocking traffic because they were too lazy to get out of the vehicle. Listen, I heard that and it irritated me. It made me mad because it was like, take your kids out, let them experience it. Don't run to the truck, get in, walk to the next one. That's what it's all about. Park your vehicle and walk around with your kid. You know what I mean? God forbid, what would happen if something happened to your kid? Or, I'm watching him in the truck, blah, 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 blah. No, that irritates me. Park your vehicle and walk around with your kid like a responsible parent, I think would do. Maybe I'm wrong. In certain situations, I could see that, but if you're in an area where it's like apartment complexes or townhome areas and whatnot, get out and walk around with your kids. This is their time. Let them enjoy it and stuff. Spend time with them. What do we have here? Ken and those orange pumpkin things. Oh my goodness. Ken, good Lord. God bless you, Ken. But those, Hurts my stomach just thinking about it. JD, what do we have here? Like, nice. All right, so everybody, we'll find out in the next year. All of them, take your kids over to JD's house because they're giving out all kinds of candy. It looks like. Well, listen, this is so Halloween is different. Let me. We got to move on here from the Halloween, but I think Halloween was good. Haven't had any accidents in our area. Hopefully, nobody else had any accidents. Hope everybody's had a good and safe Halloween. Looks like it from the comments here. Great. One thing I'm gonna say, did you see on social media the kids? There's this thing going around social media where the kids showed up and the bowl was empty. So, and this was the other thing I wanted to talk about real quick. The bowls. Everybody just nobody hands out candy anymore. They just set a bowl out and they let the kids just grab it, kind of a grab and go. That's what I'd call it, a grab and go. Well, a group of kids went and there wasn't any candy in, and a kid walked away kind of like, oh, there wasn't any candy. These other kids walking up behind him said, hey, hold on a second. And they start emptying their candy into the bowl and then let the kid come back and pick candy out. I thought that was the sweetest thing, seeing kids do something like that. And that I think deserve to be mentioned here on the show because it kind of there is hope for our future yet. And if for somehow some way the parents of the child or the kids that did that or are watching this show, God bless you. That's some great parenting right there. That was awesome. So JD, too soon for best Christmas talk. Listen, can we listen, JD? Can we please get to Thanksgiving first? Let's get to the. You want to talk Christmas? Christmas happens the day after Thanksgiving. That's when it's okay to talk about Christmas. And the fact that you even let's talk Thanksgiving first because we are in the month of Thanksgiving, right? So what's everybody Yeah, what's everybody thankful for? Leave me a comment and let me know what it is that you are thankful for. Seriously, leave me a comment. What is it that you're thankful for? I'm I'm thankful that I gotta say, hey, Jay, okay, I'm excited that Thanksgiving finally has a horror movie. What is you would be the one that says that, JD. Uh, what else is going on, guys? Hey, listen, this is your friendly reminder that daylight savings ends this weekend, November 5th. That's it. Daylight savings is over. What does that mean? It means you lose an hour of sleep every night, right? Sorry. Well, those of you in Arizona, Arizona does it right. They don't change their clocks. It's us, everybody else in the country that are idiots that decide to change their clocks. Yes, I get it. I get it. JD, what's daylight savings? Yeah, I know. I know. It's something you haven't experienced in a long time. So with that being said, let me ask you this. You're losing an hour's sleep. That means you folks out west there are going to be 4 hours behind. I think 3 hour, 3.5, 4 hours behind. So thinking about next week changing the show time so it stays more consistent with the West Coast and those of you out there uh, that because I don't want it to be too early. You lose sleep or whatnot. I'll see. We'll play around with it. I got to look at it. I thought I had this figured out in my head. I don't. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The one thing I miss about being in Arizona on a more full time basis is not having to worry about changing your clocks ever, ever. You just got to worry about a bunch of other stuff, but that's for another show. So, oh, so it'll be 2 hours. Oh, good. So that actually works in our favor then. Thank you, JD, for clarifying that. I knew it was something different there. Right. So daylight savings, though, for those of you that watch this, whether you're on the live or later on, daylight savings does end November 5th. All right, let's talk about some things that I saw this week that I thought were pretty interesting. Um, Holographic communication. This was something new that's coming out. I've talked about it before, and I remember thinking about this 6, 7 years ago. And you want to talk about like the Tony Stark technology coming alive? This stuff here is going to set you back about $7,000, but it's there. You're going to be able to talk to people and a holographic communication. It's pretty interesting. I watched the demo on it earlier this week. It was I don't even know what to say. It's just it's cool. It's what's coming. I'm certainly not going to spend $7,000 to communicate with somebody via hologram, but yeah, whatever. It's that ain't happening. But I thought it was pretty cool. So here we go. Let's bring in a mention. Wind farms. Wind farms is another topic right now. I don't have necessarily have certain articles for these next couple of topics, but the wind farms are big news right now. And if you're not seeing what's going on, if you don't think that wind farms throughout the United States don't affect you, regardless of where you live, think again. Start do a Google search on wind farms and how they affect weather patterns, wind patterns, and how they affect your pocketbook. That's all I'm going to say about that. So check out wind farms, do a big thing or a Google search on that. How many of you out there are into like crypto and digital currency and stuff like that? I've never really gotten into it myself. I've kind of stuck my toe in it a few times here and there, but I've brought it up here a couple of times as well. But what are your guys' thoughts on the whole cryptocurrency thing? Here's the thing with me. You really got to look around, and when I say look around, not just here in the United States, but look around the world. India, I think in 2016, like banned cash, so they're all set up on like a social credit system, and that's what China is doing too. China is doing a social credit system right now, and if you look up Google social credit system, you'll see some stuff on China and whatnot. Okay, you're Adam. Why are you talking about China? China right now, as far as technology wise, I would say they're probably 8 to 10 years ahead of the United States in a lot of things when it comes to technology, drone technology, AI stuff. I think they're ahead. My opinion. My opinion. All right. Some of you might think I'm crazy. It's fine, but I think that's what it is, and based off of what I've seen. Um, but we've mentioned on the shows before about the Great Reset and the 2030 agenda and stuff like that. And if you don't remember what I was talking about with that, look up the Great Reset or the 2030 agenda that the World Economic Forum, the World Economic Forum, for those of you that don't know, it's that forum of a bunch of rich people who we never elected uh, that decided that they were going to control the world. That's what that is. And watch us get kicked off the internet. They're the ones that came up with the 2030 agenda and this great reset stuff. But why is that important? It all ties in together. Again, don't take my word for it. Look this stuff up. I'm just putting this out there for you. So, Ken, that's worthy enough to put up there. Look at that. Just another way for they can track and control you. Absolutely. They want to control that. If you guys don't think that this isn't about control, it is. And again, don't take my word for it. I put this stuff up. One of the reasons why I do this show is to give you guys information to look up so we can start thinking critically again. Um, all right. So what's next? This next one, and I got some military guys on right now. I'm gonna put this one right here in the comments. The Army last Friday redesignated the last of 9 military installations that had been named after Civil War era Confederates. The final base, previously known as Fort Gordon, after a Confederate lieutenant general, was renamed to Fort Eisenhower. Those of you that have served in the military, what are your thoughts on the renaming of the bases? I'll start. I don't think it was a uh, good choice of tax spending taxpayers' dollars. This was an ongoing process. This happened. This last Friday was the last one, as I just said. But this started 3 years ago. So this has been a 3 year long process to change the names of bases. Fort Bragg, as most of us commonly known it as, is now Fort Liberty. There's a slew of other ones that I'm just it's I'm kind of at a loss for words with one. Guys, help me out here. What are your guys' thoughts? Is it a big deal? You know, I here's I guess here's another question. Do we feel like we're trying to erase a part of history? JD, did my JD, I'm gonna put that up. That's a good point. And JD, I do remember you telling me at one point that you did your AIT at Fort Gordon, and that's you know learning from it. See, and I want to point out what JD says here. Um, accept history and learn from it. I think that's a great attitude to have. JD, thank you for making that comment. Uh, it's one of those things where if you don't learn from history, you end up repeating it. A lot of us have heard that at one point of our lives. And I think we're starting to see some type of repeating of certain things in history. I'm not going to get into detail with any of that stuff today, but I just, you know, a new era. I get it. You want to change the names. Was it necessary? No, it wasn't really necessary. Did you need to spend the money to do it? Absolutely not. It was a waste of money. And that, again, my opinion. Now, I know that's going to ruffle some feathers, and that's going to piss some people off, and I accept that. That's fine. Again, it's just my opinion. Uh, yeah, Ken's right on that. Doc, what's up? Malachias, how you doing, brother? Good to see you on. I haven't talked to you in a while and haven't seen you on here in a while. Thank you for jumping on. Appreciate it. Doc, before you jump off, what are your thoughts on army bases or the military installations getting renamed? Last week, Fort Gordon changed its name to uh, Fort Eisenhower. And it's really sad, I think, because I drive past Fort Gordon, Fort Eisenhower, whatever. I go by Fort Bliss, Liberty. I go by a lot of these bases several times a year, and it almost disheartening, quite frankly. But how does it affect me? Does it affect me personally? Does it affect me directly? No, not per se. But did it affect your pocketbook? Well, it's taxpayers' money that they use to change everything, right? So you know, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. JD, that's a good point. JD Morgan Freeman. Yep. Doc, change. I put that up there too. Waste of money. Changing the name does not erase history. That's true, but it seems so we're all kind of in agreement. It sounds like a lot of people are thinking that this is I don't want to say a sham, but it's like they're trying to erase history. And I kind of feel like it's hard not to feel that way. So anyway, let's move on. I appreciate your guys' comments on that. I got a couple other ones. This one might this one here. Um, Nancy Pelosi was served a subpoena in California for a criminal case. Now this one, uh, I don't even know how to start this one. I found it to be funny in a sense of some people, they had the House Speaker come in, or somebody from the House had to say, "Oh, Nancy Pelosi couldn't be here because of the criminal case." Blah 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 blah. Although she has not made an official comment on the subpoena itself, according to Fox News. Some people have speculated that it had something to do with her husband and the beatdown that he got several months ago. That's allegedly. Allegedly that's what it has to do with. Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting topic, so I was gonna put that in there. How many of you oh, what do we have here? JD, slave owners can own money, but nobody has. Yeah, that's true. Next one that I saw, Abercrombie sued over former CEO's alleged abuse of male models. Retailer accused of allowing sex trafficking. That was the headline. That was the headline. What is it? The Abercrombie Finch or whatever. JD, you wear that stuff. What's it called? How do you did, did, did I say that right? Um, so apparently Abercrombie and Finch was accused in a lawsuit of enabling their former chief Mike Jeffries to run an alleged sex trafficking operation for a year. Um, Jeffries ran the company from 92 to 2014, built the brand into a global fashion giant around sexualized marketing. Shocker. Um, Apparently, he promised jobs to lure young men into locations around the world and coerce them to have sex with him and others, according to a lawsuit that was filed in the Manhattan federal court. The complaint follows a recent BBC investigation where several men made similar claims against him. So interesting to see what's going to happen here. And it's all over the news, different headlines depending on which news outlet you go to. This one was from Fox Business. There was another one very similar to it by CBS. So yeah. What do we have here? Nope, insider trading. Uh, let's hear next up. This one was some heartbreaking news, and this one I do have a link for. Uh, Hall of Fame basketball coach Bobby Knight has passed away this week at the age of 83. Uh, Horrible news. Bobby Knight, he was great, basketball coach. I think a lot of people remember from the University of Indiana. And he's probably well known for his had a little bit of a temper, but all in all, a great coach. He's going to be missed, and it's actually, yeah, it was a surprise. He was fun to watch. He was raw. He was real, and that was something I certainly respected about Coach Knight. So, JD, we're talking about the Investment Origin segment. Sweet. Nice. Yeah, good. I'm looking forward to hearing that and watching that. That's all the headlines that I have this week. Let's dive into the shows this week because we got some new ones to include your boy right here. But before we do that, let me remind everybody, if you're a podcaster and author and you want to grow your podcast, or you have a manuscript and you want to turn your book into an audio book, reach out to us, heroesmediagroup.com. Come join us. We are taking on new shows. We're onboarding some new shows right now for 2024. So we are growing dramatically, and we absolutely love it, love it, love it. Absolutely love it. Ginny, yes, I remember. That's good stuff. Let's dive into let's see here. Let's get into some of the shows here. What do we have? First up, we got Be Relentless. This is a new show on the network. Our buddy John, Army veteran. This one here is The Bridge to Burnout. This week he speaks with Dr. Sarah Sparlin, a leader expert on workplace dynamics and high performers, as they explore sustaining peak performance without burnout. Together, they're going to dive into topics like defining the warning signs before you reach true burnout, creating clarity and focus aimed information overload, and then setting non-negotiable constraints to safeguard your health. So that is this week's Be Relentless. Check it out. Oh, what else do we got here? Next up, we got the Hero Academy with our man Super Dave. Check out all the episodes that he's currently got. He's got some new ones coming up, so stay tuned for those. Beyond the Rut, same thing. Check out all the episodes that Jerry currently has. Another Army veteran. He's got some new stuff coming out, so stay tuned for that. Next up, Label Free Podcast. This week, Corey Rosnick, an author, presenter, coach, and pastor. Corey shares his upbringing in poverty, including living in a tent and a log cabin without any electricity or running water. He discusses how these experiences shaped his perspective and led him to explore philosophy, psychology, and neuroscience in search of all the answers to life's questions. Corey also discusses his book, The Magnetic Heart of God, Understanding the Five Cravings of Your Soul. He explains that the book dives into the five cravings and helps readers understand their behaviors on a deeper level. This is a pretty cool episode. Check it out. It's Label Free Podcast. What do we got next? We got Other Side of the Firewall. They do a show every day, Monday through Friday. This week, Mondays was cybersecurity behavior training. They had another one, CISI expanding, no notice, presentation testing, scams from who are these scams that are coming into like your emails and stuff like that. This is you want to know some of the tech side of things. Other Side of the Firewall is a place to do it at. I love this show. I've learned a lot from it. Check it out. Other Side of the Firewall. Next up, we got the Carry On Politics this week. They dive deep into the world of Indiana politics, discussing the professional journey of candidate John Kenworthy, who is Indiana's third district, his congressional role models, military and legislative accomplishments, and they talk about his future political goals. So that's this week's Carry On Politics. Check it out. All right, what do we got next? Oh, the boys over at Pushing Back Chaos on a little bit of a hiatus right now. They got some stuff going on. So check out their most recent stuff, and they got a new episode coming soon. So stay tuned for that. Next up, we have the Decision Hour with yours truly. This week, I'm happy to be back behind the mic with the Decision Hour. We have about 10 episodes that are going to come out over the next 10 weeks that I've been working on for the last about 2 months. And this week, the cancel culture curse, navigating the online minefield with my special guest, Evan Neerman. Evan's very well known in the media realm. And you're going to see why here real quick. In a world where smartphones have given everyone platforms to capture and share content, cancel culture has become a buzzword that elicits both concern and controversy. Evan raises important questions about consequences of this phenom, particularly when it comes to online criticism and the swift judgment of individuals. Should cancer culture dictate our lives? That's a question that we answer. And do we have the right to hold and express our opinions without the fear of being targeted or canceled by online mobs? This has been a big thing that has happened over the last couple of years with cancer culture. We've all talked about it. Uh, and, you got the Facebook with their fact checkers and stuff, which I don't know if you guys on a sidebar with that notice recently they were in court recently and they said, well, their fact checkers are just a matter of opinion, their words, not mine. So uh, Evan really talks about this whole cancel culture thing and we educates us. He's got a book called The Cancel Culture Curse, which dives deep into the complexities and consequences of of cancel culture. He argues that cancel culture is fundamentally un-American, contradicting the principles of due process, free speech, and public debate. Do you agree? I certainly do. This was a great episode and a lot of just great information that I absolutely is going to open up. I'm sure it's going to open up everybody's eyes on cancel culture. So check that out. That's this week's Decision Hour. I'll get back to the comments here in just a minute. Um, Next up, we got Time to Shine today with our man Scott Ferguson. Scott did a couple of shows this week. There's two shows. First one, he speaks with Mark Mawiney, the coach who helped him skyrocket his client base without paid ads. Some of the things you're going to learn in this episode: don't discount yourself. Your wisdom and expertise are priceless. Value the knowledge in your noggin. I love that. The other thing you're going to learn is rise above being a wantrepreneur, as in, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I've just transform your coaching gig into a thriving business that nurtures and grows. So, those of you out there that want to be a coach of some sort, I would highly recommend listening to this episode of Time to Shine today. Their second episode this week, they had guest Fred, who is not only an educator, but is also a best-selling author in the investment world, teaching countless individuals on how to create passive income streams. He goes into uh, how to invest in the note investing game. He talks about the note investing games, managing a mortgage note investment fund, and helping investors step into the lender's shoes. Basically, you become the bank for people. Pretty interesting episode as well. So check that out. That's Time to Shine today. Next up, The Shay Sparks Show. Season 10 is now officially live, folks. This used to be called the Power of Investing in People podcast. It is now called The Shay Sparks Show. This is season 10, and we welcome it. This week's episode, Fighting Beautifully with Delilah Matos. Delilah empowers females to face any challenges in life with a fighting spirit. She is a master's division competitive boxer, not only passionate about the fight within the ropes, but even more so beyond the ropes. She is the founder of Beautiful Fighter, is her female empowerment mission-based ministry. One she feels God has called her to serve women of all ages to face each day fighting beautifully. This was a really cool episode. Uh, I liked it a lot, and I think a lot of the women out there, or women viewers and listeners, are going to like it as well. So check it out. That's the Shay Sparks Show. And Shay, welcome back. Next up, we got Because Bikers Matter podcast. This week, guest Steve Lender, the founder of Life Touch Kids Boxing. Steve shares his personal journey of growing up in Queens, New York, and how he found the passion for boxing as a means of self-defense and confidence building. He explains how Life Touch Kids Boxing Club came to be, starting with a simple workout session with his daughter and then growing the program with over 120 enrolled kids and 15 volunteer coaches. I think that's really awesome. This was a great episode. Check it out, Because Bikers Matter podcast. All right, again, real quick, I will get back to the comments here in just a few. Next up, we have the Misfit Nation podcast this week. I love this one, and I hope I say this gentleman's name right. Manu. Early years were marked by adversity. Growing up in a small town amidst family troubles, at the tender age of 15, he took matters into his own hands, working tirelessly in a factory for a mere $2 a day. But fate had bigger plans for him. The arrival of a new computer institute, AppTech, changed the trajectory of Manu's life. Despite financial obstacles, he embarked on a journey into a world of computers and programming. And the rest is history. This was a great episode. Check it out. Misfit Nation podcast. Love this one. Cool story. Next up, environmentally speaking. This week, Marissa and Clarice, they tackle the controversial topic of offshore wind. It's a big topic. I told you, it's if you're not familiar with this topic, you need to start researching it. It affects you. They dive into the recent news articles highlighting the financial troubles faced by offshore wind companies, including declining stock values and expiring government subsidiaries. As they explore the implications of these obstacles, they discuss the potential impact on ratepayers and the challenges faced by these companies in securing rate increases. Yep, it's happening. Environmentally speaking, check it out. It's a cool episode. Next up, we got MSEC podcast. Dr. Daniel Perkins, who is MSEC Science Advisory Board member, Director of Principal Scientist of the Clearinghouse for Military Family Readiness at Penn State University, and Dr. Jennifer Crary. She's the Assistant Research Professor at the Clearinghouse for Military Family Readiness at Penn State University. I had the pleasure of meeting both of them earlier this past summer. Both of them discussed research-based risk, protective and promotive factors for our military-connected families. They provide recommended solutions for programs and services to best support military family readiness. If you are active duty, guard, or reserve, or a veteran, and you have children that still live at home that are of grade school age, go to Military Child Education Coalition, Google it, or militarychild.org. They have a ton of great resources for our military families. This was a great it's a nonprofit organization. We've been working with them for years. I love their programs that they have. So go check it out. That's this week's MSEC podcast. Next up, we got the Arms Room. This week, Matt from Worst Responders talking about the real world effects of 911 calls. If you haven't, Worst Responders, look them up on Instagram. It's a funny meme page, but listen to this episode. It's something else. And did I just spit all over the place? I'm sorry, guys. Not that it's affecting you guys directly. Anyway, I'll shut up. Next, couple more shows left. What do we have next? Chasing Happiness. All right. This week, dive deep into the mind of a Christian philosopher as he unreveals the complexities of happiness. Didn't think happiness is that complex? Can be. As a Christian philosopher and an aspiring lawyer, Jonathan's academic pursuits have led him to a triple major in college. Yeah, I read that right. Wow. Diving into philosophy, history, and political science. But what truly sets him apart is his profound love for Jesus and his unique ability to unpack the Word of God through various intellectual lenses. This was a pretty cool episode. Check it out. That's this week's Chasing Happiness. Next up, we got the Joel Evans Show. This week, It was a really cool podcast with Fraz Khan. I hope I said that right. Probably didn't, but talking about reversing hair loss and gray hair for both men and women. I'm throwing myself under the bus right now. This was a great episode. I'm already working on this. If I'm not kidding you. Those of you that are watching right now, the live, guys and gals, if you got hair loss problems or you're sick of the gray, you're going to want to listen to this and watch this episode. It's the Joel Evans Show. Check it out because they dive into the root cause and what imbalances in the body are causing it. A lot of people think that hair loss is just bad genes, but that's really very, very small part of it. His protocols for men and women work. How do hormonal changes around menopause affect hair loss? Uh, Another thing they talk about the difference between men and women's hair loss, and the connection between stress, diet, and hair loss is another topic that they talk about, and then the misconceptions about hair loss and women. This was a very educational episode. Check it out, the Joel Evans Show. Next up, Rise Up, Voices from the Front Lines. They got new episodes coming soon. Stay tuned. Next up, we got the People's Patriot Project. We got your 6 at 6 every Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. You don't want to miss it. Love this show. They got some great stuff. They had a mutual friend of ours on this last Sunday, Travis from Oscar Mike Radio, used to be on the network. Listen, they always do a round. We got your 6 at 6. It's like a round table. They got a lot of great guests every Sunday night, 6 p.m. That's Central Standard Time. So go check it out. People's Patriot Project. Go to People's Patriot Project Facebook page. Make sure you follow them. All right, next up, what do we got next? Last show for the week, the S3 with JD. This past week, and this was just a couple days ago, I believe, Jason Anderson, who is the host of The Zone, joins the show with them this week. Jason is the host of The Zone on Sports Radio 810 out of Kansas City. He's back on the show where they're talking about the Chiefs and their matchup in Frankfurt, Germany against the Miami Dolphins this week. Also, Jason and JD are going to discuss, or they do discuss, some of their lines and picks for this weekend's games. So make sure you check it out. Go follow the S3. JD does a live, and now it's basketball season. So they're adding a second show right now until football season's over with. So go check it out. It's the S3 with JD. All right, let me get back to some of the comments here and get caught up here on what these comments are while we go through this. What do we have here? Morning, Lindsay. How are you? Shay Spark. Woo! All right. Mark, Patriot Pride. Love you, brother. Appreciate you jumping on. I'll follow you. JD, send me a link so I can subscribe. I'm pretty sure. All right. Listen, I cannot. We would not be here if it wasn't for our sponsors. Let me pay some bills real quick. Got to mention our great sponsors that we have. Carrabba is down at Fayetteville, North Carolina, just outside of Fort Liberty. Now I believe it's called. Sorry, this is the one on Sycamore and Dairy Road. Go check them out. If you're down there, tell them HMG sent you. Alibi Tattoo. Appreciate you guys. Love them. We had a great party over there past weekend for Halloween. Forget Genetics. A veteran-owned company. Forget Genetics. If you're a hunter or you just love having animals in your backyard, go to Forget Genetics. There's a lot of great stuff over there. Go check them out. My man Barry, Army veteran. If you use promo code HMG at checkout, he's going to give you 10% off. Go check it out. Motorcycle Safety Lawyers. I'm going to say it again. Should be on your speed dial. If you ride a motorcycle, get these guys on your speed dial. Feed the People, Buy the People. Got some news coming up with them here very soon. They got a podcast out, and there's rumor that they're going to be here on HMG very soon. So check them out. Feed the People, Buy the People. Sisu Stamina. I just happen to have it up here today. Look at that. Boom. That's what it comes in. Sisu Stamina from Universal Learning Approach. If you use promo code HEROES10, they're going to give you 10% off. These are great. Love this. I get focused. I take these in the afternoon. I love it. Jim Neary's Bait and Tackle and Warriors on the Water Ltd. Great organizations, Southern Lancaster County in Pennsylvania, and I believe gyms might be closed for the season because fishing season here in Pennsylvania season has I think come to a close. But we're going to keep promoting their stuff as well as Warriors on the Water Ltd. Check them out. Great organization. JB Auto Clothiers. Please go check out the website and follow their Facebook page and their Instagram page. They got some new stuff coming. They got new shirts coming. If you're a veteran, whether you're a veteran or not, you want a suit, you need a suit, new jackets. Now we are doing custom shirts. JB Auto Clothiers is also doing custom shirts. My Tax Fella. It's getting around that time where it's tax season, guys. Tax season is right around the corner. Are you doing your taxes right? Do you have questions on your taxes? Go to mytaxfella.com today. Tell Anthony that HMG sent you. He'll hook you up. Last is certainly not least, HMG beverage. We got our coffee, and there's some new stuff coming. It's been a long time coming, but our spirit line, we have some new stuff coming in March of 2024 that I'll be really excited to announce more of when we get closer to that time. You coffee lovers out there, I got orders in. We're backlogged with some of the coffee, waiting on a new shipment to come in for some green beans. We sold out of a coffee here recently, almost sold out completely. We got some stuff left, but if you want some coffee, send us an email, hit us up there, let us know, and we'll go from there as well. So, what else, Lindsay? Yeah, I'm glad you can make it on, Lindsay. Thank you, appreciate it. Joel, now there's a gentleman I haven't seen in a while. Looking forward to sporting some HMG apparel here. And hey, I'll be up that direction here pretty soon as well. Hunting season's right around the corner. Listen, folks, I appreciate you guys jumping on. Make sure you share this. If you have ideas of what you want me to cover on a show, DM us, send us some topics. We are going to be hiring here. Again, we got some new stuff coming. So we've got some new editors on board. We got some new writers, and we got some events that are coming up that we're going to be looking for people to cover. So if you're interested or that's something that sounds snazzy to you, drop us a DM or email us at info@heroesmediagroup.com. In the meantime, guys, gals, let's have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. It's November. Go out, enjoy this cooler weather. Try to stay warm. And remember, think for yourselves. I appreciate you guys. That's all I got for today. God bless you. God bless America. I'll see you guys next week.